Welcome to my latest webinar, and the name of the webinar is How to Wire Your Geriatric Care Management Business to Make Money. And that business might be just, geriatric care management itself, or what I call care managed home care, which is you have both care management and home care. So either way, you got to make a lot of money. That's what you wanted to do this for. After all, you went into a business. So that's what we're going to cover. And some housekeeping. Please write down questions. At the end, we always have to drag them out of you. Please be willing to, think about what you want to ask Keith and I. Keith Meninsky, my devoted co-host, who's always here from the University of Florida formerly. And the second thing is that we are going to have some great interviews with the CEOs of all the software in care management who are going to pitch to you why they're the best. And so we're going to do that at the end. And at the end, I'm going to make a number of low-cost offers of what I teach, but also a new offer that's going to reduce the cost for Alka members. So hold on for that. So let's just get started. Okay, so there you see the lady rushing money up there. That's the point of business. Most of us are, nurses and social workers who taught us this, but you chose to do this, so you need the money. And that's wiring your business, and we're going to talk about that. So let's move to the next one. So the framework of your business, it's not simply your skill as a care manager or your expertise. And we'll move to the next one. It is your skill in planning your care management information flow, which, we're going to talk about a lot, but how does, your software, how's your hardware move into your software, move into, getting clients to come to you through social media, videos, etc., which is, a lot of this is all new to geriatric care managers, or you need a tune-up. So that's what we're going to talk about. And let's move to the next slide. And so it's your skill in networking. Networking so you can use it, not only to make money, but to help your clients. Because, this is an interactive format that we have now. And a lot of us are middle-aged, so we didn't grow up with this language, but you have to learn it because you want to help your clients so they stay with you and find value in your services. But you also want to get money from them to bill for your bottom line, to keep your business healthy, just like you go to the doctor to keep your body healthy and take vitamins or whatever you do. And so we'll move to the next slide. And so smart technology, and we're going to be talking a lot about that, frames your business. So, when you frame your house, this is a house, it's just starting. And you can see all those struts all over the place. Well, that's your GCM expertise. That's the most important part. You got to frame it. You got to know what you're talking about. You're not a surfer, you're a care manager. And the siding that eventually is, the roof's going to go on the top, the walls are going to go in. What's the siding? That's your business expertise. And none of us, only 3% of people in Alka ever took a business class or an MBA or anything like that. So you have to learn business skills and besides geriatric care management skills, or you can't, the wolf will blow that house down if you're the Three Little Pigs or whoever you are. And then there's the plumbing. And you think, well, Cathy, what are you talking about plumbing for? Plumbing is basically, that is billing. It is, the water main comes in and it, moves the water through your house and it takes the, the wastewater out. Well, essentially plumbing is in a business, you're, bringing, cash in and enough cash so that you can make cash flow. I do a whole webinar on that. But if you, money doesn't come in till the second month. You have to pay all your bills the first month. And so you have to have this plumbing. And lastly, there's wiring, and that's what we're talking about. Software, first hardware, buy the computers, then software. That's what we're going to have all these CEOs talk about, the programs that you're going to use. And then, the telephones you use, the SEO, all that stuff you need to know. So we're going to talk about, how the content marketing, which is what Tasha Beauchamp's going to discuss, your website and easy to use social media sites are going to attract clients. So you have a lot of money coming in through your plumbing. We'll move to the next slide. Okay, so why can I teach you this? I say it every time. I'm going to run through it fast. I'm an author. I've written, I've written the Geriatric Care Management, the handbook 4 times, swing into its fifth. And I wrote it with a whole bunch of other really expert geriatric care managers, so it's not just mine. And so I know care management, and I've taught it at many colleges. And I teach it online now. And then I'm an expert in aging family systems. You have to know this. You know why? Because you have to enter the family system and change it enough so that you can get care in. That's the deal. So you have to understand how they work, and they're very, very tricky, those family systems. And the book, again, Care Managers Working with the Aging Family, I did that with a whole bunch of other expert geriatric care managers. The worst offenders in the aging family system, I always say, are the midlife siblings. They didn't get enough love in the nest down there. They want their rewards in money, which they will take advantage of. And so they're just reckless and awful, and you have to be able to change the system so that they work together. Very tough. So I wrote a whole book about that, and I wrote the only operations manual in geriatric care management, which is a riff, and every major corporation has it. On McDonald's, they wrote the first manual, and they wrote the manual so that they could expand all over the world, which they have, and have now been taken over in Russia because it backed out. Okay, we'll move to the next slide. Okay, my co-presenter, and I couldn't do it without him, is Keith Meninsky. Keith's going to wave to you. He was the graduate level instructor in geriatric care management certificate program at the University of Florida, but he's still an active member of the very notable and strong and relentless Florida Aging Life Care Association that has that terrible governor, as I always say, and the National Aging Life Care Association, and the National Council of Certified Geriatric Dementia Care Managers, and the National Academy of Certified Care Managers. So we'll move on. So what's the agenda today? We're going to cover how to wire your GCM or your care managed GCM home care agency for business. And we're going to go over easy to use social media sites, how and why, and there's a giant reason why, to shoot videos now for your agency. I'm going to do one-to-one interviews with the CEOs of the major care management software. There's not a lot of it out there, not a lot of choices, and why you need content marketing and exactly what that is. We're going to talk about it, but it's extremely important. So we'll move to the next slide. So let's start with social media. There's 6 must-to-dos to get people to open and click. Oh, sorry, it's my daughter. I got to turn the phone off. Sorry. Family comments. How to provide content that's how to open it, why do you have social media? Because you want people to open and click their social media and read what you got to say, in trying to sell your business to, get clients. And so you've got to, number one, provide content worth reading. You've got to grab the reader's attention with a headline. Sometimes, they don't like the headline, they won't read anything. They won't click at all, but they won't even read it. And you need to establish trust. Whatever information that you're giving over and over again, it has to be correct. It can't be like schlocky and wrong. You build up trust over a period of time. People only really pay any attention to you for about 6 times, and then they know you. And then you've got to write stuff for your audience. And what's your audience? You're writing for midlife adult children, and and their issues, their pain. Essentially, I did a whole webinar about that. How are you going to solve their pain, just like a doctor would? And so you've got to, give remedies all the time in your social media about that, because that's what they want to hear. And how to keep it, all of this you've got to do short and simple, and keep it regular. I only blog now 2 days a week. I always blog on the same time. I use Constant Contact the same day, every single week. People learn to expect what you're doing, and they like routine. So we'll move on to the next slide. So let's go over social media sites to market. The first is LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is a great site because it's your target market. Your target market are, middle-aged professionals like elder law attorneys, wealth managers, directors of upscale assisted living, etc. And they're going to be on LinkedIn. And you want to develop a profile because that's how they vet you. They're going to look at that profile on LinkedIn. It's really an important site. And get testimonials and put them on. And, that's again, vetting. And also join LinkedIn groups, like the Aging Life Care Association has a group there, but join a lot of groups because you can, repeat what you're blogging on those groups, get more bang for your buck. And then you always want to create a Facebook fan page for your GCM business. And it's a business page. I have one. I don't really, use Facebook very often anymore because of my political reasons with, fake news and fake information. But I always keep this business page, and always have you need a Facebook business page. And then you've got to learn to use things like Pinterest. And Pinterest, it usually uses videos and photos, or both. So it's it basically imagery kind of social media, and you can put other people's content on it or your own content. It's sort of like a lot of recipes too, so you can put your own content in there. But again, what's the target audience? It's women. Women are the caregivers, and they're the ones that are going to pay attention to you, not the, bless you guys out there, but it's not you that's going to get the care. And so they're usually middle-aged women, some young, but that's a really good one to do. And then Twitter, I don't use Twitter that much anymore. It's a real lower demographic, younger age. I use it occasionally. I think it's good to have an account, but not to use it as frequently as, say, LinkedIn. And then the newer ones, which is Instagram for business. And that's a really good one too. Again, it's imagery, it's photos and videos. And videos, are really important. We're going to talk about that. But you can blog there as well. And you can use something called stories. Now you have to learn more about Instagram. It's brand new. And I've put links all over this PowerPoint that you can go into. There's not one for Pinterest or for Twitter, etc. But you can just Google how to use them, and what sort of things you're going to put on it, like imagery, or you're going to do blogs. And the last one is Google for Business, and this is a really critical one, because Google doesn't just vet you in, the way that LinkedIn does. It vets you it's Google. It's huge. So they will really check you out if you are who you say. And it's like, the Women's Home Journal, gold standard of excellence. And they'll, you have to get usually about 5 recommendations. And, the other thing that makes it valuable is the recommendations in Google are put in by the people themselves, not the businesses, because you put your own recommendations, but you did it. You could make it up. So Google Business is absolutely like LinkedIn, the one you want to do. And we'll move to the next slide. And videos. This is like a startling new, I mean, it's not new, but the statistics about it are so interesting about why you should use it. And this is from the Aging Life Care Association. 79 million people in the US watch videos every day. That's big, big stat. But this is the killer. Viewers retain 75% of the message that they watch from videos and retain only 10% of reading the text. Now, it's a terrible statistic if you're an English teacher like I used to be, but that is actually what is happening in our society. And, to underscore that even more, 76% of marketing professionals plan to use a video to increase their brand awareness. So you need to learn to use videos, and we'll continue I'll show you some things about videos. So how powerful are videos? I just talked about that. 4 times as many consumers would rather watch a video about a product than read about it. I grew up on books. I'm old. My oldest daughter, books and movies. Now my youngest daughter, and she's 44, it's streaming. So, this is the age we're in. So using, a video is much more powerful than words. And using a video, even the word video that you put in the title and the subject line is going to, boost people who are going to click on you from 19% to 65%. Now, why shouldn't you do this? And like I said, I've put links in here along the time so we could speed this up. But helpful articles, there's one on videos from Forbes, Social Media Today, Marketing, Land, and Small Business Trends. So you can do this, I will be sending this to you after probably tomorrow, the next day in recording, so you can check it out then. But they're important. We'll move to the next slide. Okay, how to shoot a video. I'm 88. I'm 78. I always get confused about how old I am, but I'm 88. I'm 78, and I've been doing. My husband's laughing back there. I've been doing videos for probably 20 years, and you can do that too if I have learned how to do it. And I started learning. Actually, I have a very large YouTube channel. So I've used them for a lot. So number 1, get a tripod. You don't want your shaky hands doing this. You can just use iPhone. That's how I shot everything, like this. However, you want to get a tripod and get somebody else to shoot it for you. And then you want to prepare the content for filming, and that means light. I'm not gonna, we don't have time for me to tell you, but I'm under a skylight, so the light would be too much over here and too little over here, but I'm in the right light now. And you want to know that the lighting is perfect. You'll have to get that from the person who is, videoing you. And then determine your filming location. I have the prerequisite books here. Everybody's got bookcases. That's mine. I actually have them all over the house. And the last thing is clean your camera. My computer and my camera are usually really dirty. So just, spray it with Windex, I think, and just clean it off. Okay, so, it's real simple. Believe me, I've been doing it for a long time. And if I'm 78, you can do this too. We'll move to the next slide. Okay. So how to create an e-newsletter. This is another really important thing because we live in a time when, COVID is in and out, it's in most of the time. And a regular database, marketing database is, not the best thing to use right now. It's an email marketing database, and that's what I'm going to talk about. So you want to create a marketing campaign using a HIPAA compliant e-newsletter. That means it all gets sent out on, via the web. And you want to use a platform, but you want to use the right platform. So I use Constant Contact. I've used it for years because they have great customer service. SurveyMonkey is probably just as excellent. I haven't used it. But the ones coming next are a little bit cheaper and probably do the same thing. And there's TheraLink. You can click on that link, Doxy, other choices. And then you can hire somebody to do it. And this is Elder Pages Online. And you are going to hear from Tasha Beauchamp, who runs that, who will do the newsletter for you. And, I have, a lot of people in my classes, and I would say 2/3 use Tasha because, you've got to be marketing on one hand, and on the other hand, you have to be tending to your clients, and then you have to be billing and, doing payroll. It's crazy. And the last thing many times you want to do is your newsletter, and it should be first because that's how you get a lot of clients. So there's the links to all of those, and I would say that it's really important to get an e-newsletter. And we'll move to the next slide. Okay, so we're going to launch into this, and I have 4 interviews here. I interviewed these people earlier, and Tasha Beauchamp is going to talk to you about content marketing now. Welcome to the webinar. Thank you so much, Tasha, for joining me again. And today we are featuring technology, and of course, content marketing is really the heart of technology for care managers. So I'm so glad you were willing to come. And let's just start with, what is content marketing?
Well, thank you, Cathy. I'm delighted to be here. Content marketing, especially online, since we're talking about technology, is, I like to say, it's for care managers that hate sales. So if you are not a person that likes to go out there and say, I'm the best, hire me, rah, rah, then you want to do content marketing because it is promoting your business through what I call the back door of education. So you share your expertise. This is in the overview definition. You share your expertise as a way for people to become familiar with who you are, and as a way for people to discover you, because a lot of people don't know what a care manager is, and so they aren't going to be searching for care manager, but they might be, keeping their eyes open, or at least something might jump out at them if it's a talk or an article or blog, whatever, about dementia or about conflict with siblings, or Parkinson's, or whatever it is that they are dealing with. So it's a way for people to discover you that are not necessarily looking for a care manager, but they stumble across you. So it's part of the discovery stage of the customer journey. And if you do it strategically, you will collect email addresses so that you can move people along that journey. Because care management is not, pop it in your shopping cart, impulse buy, right? People need to have multiple exposures, 6 to 12, just to your business name, to even remember that they've heard of you. And they have to develop a sense of trust of you and credibility, that you are an expert. So you need an email address to be able to start a conversation with them that you initiate. It's not just you're hoping they find you on Facebook or something like that. So content marketing done strategically collects email addresses, or gives you an excuse to get email addresses. And from there, you can then start finding out more about the person and do what's called tailored engagement, and tell them how you can help them and move them toward that free initial consultation, which is the doorway to a contract.
Good. Yeah, well, that really even helps me because I really, I've looked at many definitions. That's the clearest, and certainly the clearest for a care manager, because so many nurses and social workers come into it and they didn't take any marketing classes or business classes at all. They didn't think they needed to. What would you say? What are some examples besides the email that you would use for content marketing, like a white paper or
Yeah, the top three that I think of are presentations and their close cousin webinars, e-newsletters, and then LinkedIn blogging. So let me kind of talk about each of those. Presentations are like the classic, content marketing where people come, maybe you're doing a presentation at a senior center or with a caregiver support group, or if you're doing a presentation to referrers, with attorneys or something, typically, it's not an infomercial. You are it's not about you, it's about a topic, right? And if you do it strategically, they sign in with their name and email address, right? And most of my clients, we do PowerPoints for people that are wanting to do presentations, and we usually are doing their newsletters also. And so I counsel them, put a print version of that month's newsletter on every seat when you're doing an in-person one, and then you've gotten their email address when they sign in. And then at some point during your presentation, hold up the print version and say, this is for family caregivers. Then you can say, by the way, as a thank you for coming today, you'll notice we have this, newsletter for family caregivers. We get it. You got a tough road to hoe. We're here for you. And we will send this to you once a month. Okay, so that's an example of where you're kind of merging those two, your presentation and your e-newsletter. Certainly with a webinar, just in the course of registering, you get their email address. Let me talk now about e-newsletters, because that is kind of the segue there. So you need an excuse to get their email, and then you need to start conversing with them. And again, that multiple exposures. And I have clients, they'll say, oh, I just ignore those, newsletters. I never open it up. And the truth about an e-newsletter is 90% of its work is that it landed in their inbox. Okay. Because what you want to do is remind them about you. And they say, oh, ABC Care Management, they're great folks. They, warm and caring, or they really know what they're talking about, however, what you hope you elicited from the past with them. And so it's fine if they don't open it up. They're reminded of you because they may have gone to that presentation and didn't really have an immediate need for you. But now 3-6 months later, mom's in rehab because she fell and broke a hip, and they're having to decide, do we send, does she get discharged to assisted living or to home care? And you come up and they go, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, let's talk to this person. The last one I'd like to talk about is LinkedIn blogging, because LinkedIn is where you meet your referrers. So that's your business to business marketing. 88% of attorneys are on LinkedIn and they're all over it. LinkedIn is your online resume, so you want that to look robust. And if you've got a healthy set of blogs on there, not only does it look really good visually, you've got these, graphics. We do this a lot, but also it gives people, they can search and they will see, oh, your blogs will come up when they search on LinkedIn. It also, LinkedIn is your audience, because even separate from the attorneys, 45% of LinkedIn is upper income people. Right. So that's your audience. I mean, they make 75,000 or more. Right. And it's definitely a middle-aged group that, that's their biggest concentration is middle-aged people, and that's your adult daughters and sons. So most of them are professionals, probably have a LinkedIn profile, and they go there to check you out. Mm-hmm. So those are the three: presentations, e-newsletters, and LinkedIn blogging.
What about Google Business?
That's not exactly content marketing, but it is a place where you can certainly post your blogs. And then what you're doing is not only are you putting eye-catching photos up there, which Google, frankly, is a combat for the eyeballs, right? So there's a search, and if your GMB comes up, you want their eyeballs yanked off the, list of text and going to where those graphics are, and oh, okay, these people,
Mhm.
So it's definitely your blogging, or we do actually newsletter articles that come up on GMBs. So you leverage your content in multiple formats, but you
Right,
have to have content to begin with. So that would be,
right.
your blog or newsletter.
What about the authentication that Google Business gives you?
Well, certainly it helps having a Google My Business page come up. Totally, it's filling out a Google My Business page tells Google that you really are who you say you are, and you really are at the location and all of that kind of thing. And so you fill out one of those, and especially if you're updating every week with these blog posts, they're more confident that you are you and that you are keeping things up to date. And so they will show that GMB page on a search more readily.
Mhm.
And so definitely it helps.
And how can people get in touch with you?
Oh, well, absolutely. Certainly you can email me, Tasha at elderpagesonline.com, or go to my website or my LinkedIn and, go through LinkedIn. That's fine. I don't blog about family caregiving on LinkedIn. I blog about caregiver or care manager marketing. So
Mhm.
you can see blogs there on LinkedIn. And also I have them on my website.
Right, and what is your website
Oh,
address?
elderpagesonline.com.
Usually you're teaching me, but now I'm glad to.
I don't make the ask. Make the ask.
I got
Oh, contact me if you would like to do content marketing. I'd love to help you.
no, no, no. I've learned so much from you about technology, and I think I would say that 3/4 of my the students, or the people that I work with, I recommend to you, because most care managers do not have the time to do a newsletter or blog. So they're just learning, and then they're seeing a lot of clients. So I would attest to the real value, and I tell that to everybody I work with, and I give them three choices, as you do too. I know that you cover certain areas, and
Yeah,
if you don't want people to, you don't want to set up competition.
yeah.
So I know that you refer to other people that do content marketing if you can't take them. So, well, thank you so much,
Well, thank you,
and
Kathy.
have a great 4th of July. And thank you so much for doing this when people will see it the day after July 1st, 4th. Thanks. See you again soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Speaking about what is the best software program, we're going to lead into the first one, and this is Tree, and this is an interview that I did with Carl. Hi, Carl. Really glad to have you, come to our webinar. And, what I would like everyone to do, and, you do now, is to really tell the listeners or the viewers who are, potentially your customers, what are the features and benefits of Tree. And we'll start with the features, and features are just facts. I mean, what the price, consumer satisfaction, the functionality of your software. So I'll let you take that over, and then what we're going to do is benefits, and that's what's in it for the people who are listening that might buy your software or learn more about it, and they've already taken it. It does it. It's easier to use than any other software. They'll have more credibility because it's a really good piece of software, et cetera, et cetera. So you go to it now. And what are the features?
Thanks, Cathy. Yeah, I mean, so we've been around for 10 years doing this. So we have a lot of experience in the care management space, focusing in on it, and have continued to evolve and develop Tree over the years, always developing new functionality, always improving the software, adding to our team to better support our customers. And that is what makes us, I think, the largest care management software now for private pay care managers, with hundreds of companies using CareTree, a 99% retention rate. And I think the last statistic was 70% of the people that do a demo on CareTree end up using the software. So when people see it and all of the capabilities that we have, they realize that we've really thought of everything and really keep on reinvesting into the software to keep making it better and better. And I know we'll only be able to go through kind of a glimpse of certain pieces today. But that is the thing that we, when people see the software, they say, wow, you really have thought of everything. And that makes me happy.
Okay, so what about the benefits? You know, when you become, a user of CareTree, what's in it for them? Like how is going to really help them, do the care management business?
Yeah, so first and foremost, it's easy to use. And that's something that we have focused on since day one, is how do we make it extremely easy and intuitive to use? We don't want our customers to have to call us because they can't figure something out. We want it to be intuitive. And then if we're here to support them, and we have that support, and we continue to add to our support resources if somebody needs help. But somebody would ideally prefer just to be able to figure it out and use it and not have to think about how to use it. And so we focus on that. And that's especially important as we continue to add functionality, because we've seen other software programs where they continue to pack in features, and then you're having to go through all of these things that you don't use and it doesn't make sense. And so we make it intuitive as we continue to add the features. Customization is a big thing. The one thing that is consistent with care management practices nationwide is the fact that they're completely inconsistent. Everybody is doing something different. And so we've had to build in customization, and we continue to expand those customization capabilities, where you can add your own data fields, you can add your own permissions, you can add your own assessments. If you want your invoice to be newest to oldest versus oldest to newest, everybody is doing something different. They have their preferences, and we allow that customization. And it doesn't cost extra to do that customization. It's all something that a user can take control of themselves and make CareTree their own for their own company. And then I think support is another big thing. So not only are we here to support if somebody has a phone call, email, we've got our Zendesk chat, but then we also continue to build out our resources for videos, our help system, where you can search for articles. We have a Facebook group with hundreds of care managers, where you can not only ask questions about CareTree, but ask other care managers about best practices. And then we also do a monthly call to kind of do a refresh for any of our users, but then also to go through any of the new functionality that we've added in that past month, because every month, almost every week, we're making tweaks and adding new things.
That's great. Wow, I'm impressed. Well, thank you very much. This is a short interview. It's going to be a short one for everyone. And thank you so much for being part of the webinar. And, hopefully we'll do this next year again, and you'll have more to add.
Yep, I know just since the last time we spoke, we've got quite a few new features within CareTree to be able to show off. So yeah, we'll definitely have more stuff the next time we speak.
Great. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye. Okay, so we are going to move into the next interview, and this is with iHome Health that has made some major changes from the last time I did this. So this is Julian Langdon, and she's going to tell you about her, her newest version of her software. Hi, hi, Duane. We've seen each other many, many times over the years.
Hi, Kathy. Nice to see you again.
Thank you. And today, thank you for joining this webinar to give us some information about your software product and iHome Health. And we're going to talk about what are the features and what are the benefits of the project, your excellent product that you've had out so long. So I used to give everybody the information, but at 78, I was the wrong person to do this. So it's up to you now. You're going to sell your own product. So go on, tell us a little bit about the features.
Okay. For care managers, iHealth Home is a pretty comprehensive software platform. I think the key features are one, that it's easy to use. That's been our main objective ever since we started writing software code. It was built by care managers for care managers. So we focused a lot on the functionality and what's called the user experience and the user interface to make it easy to use, intuitive to follow. It very much looks like just working within a paper chart.
Great.
So number one is I think it's easy to use. I think the other key feature is that when you're onboarding or even as you're using the system with support, our support people are people that have been in the business. So they really know what care management is about. They know what your day-to-day challenges are being on the road and having to document while you're on the fly, and that the system is built precisely to do that. So documentation of your notes is a key feature. Being able to do that very easily, whether it's from a computer or from your mobile phone, to be able to jot your notes down. And we have what's called a one-step documentation process. So from your clinical note, all the information you need to do billing is incorporated. So once you do your clinical note, you're done with your accounting.
Yeah.
And then a week later, when you're ready to do your accounting, or a month later, literally it is review your notes, review your time, press a button, and your billing is done. So we try to make it really easy so that you can spend your time focusing on the most important thing, which is the client and their needs and the hands-on pieces of care management, as opposed to all of the paperwork and the administrative pieces behind the scenes.
Great. Yeah.
Mobile access is another key feature. Being able to, we live on our mobile phones today, and your information system is no different. So not only can you do your documentation from the mobile phone, but you get pretty much a view of almost every piece of information that's in the system, including PDF documents that you have uploaded and stored. And it's really handy to have the latest discharge summary, the latest lab report, the latest post form, power of attorney, just right on your phone if you need it when you're at the hospital or at the assisted facility, or even just at their home. So mobile access to everything is another key feature. And I think finally, another key feature is our robust reporting engine. We have an embedded tool called JasperSoft, which is by a company called Tibco, which is usually a tool that only the biggest companies have. But we've embedded it within our software so that small businesses like ourselves can access it, and you can get all kinds of data, because not only to run your own business, but we're constantly being challenged on what's the value of care management? What are your outcomes? Prove it to me that you make a difference. And the ability to pull data out of your system about the clients that you've served and aggregate them to be able to look at your outcomes reporting is really, really, really critical.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, so those are some of the key features that I think differentiate iHealth Home as a software product.
Absolutely. And benefits, like if someone is, you know, going to buy your software, what's in it for them?
Well, the world of care management is changing very rapidly. And I think positioning care managers to take advantage of as many revenue opportunities as possible so that they can grow their business as large as they would like it to be. No longer is our field simply limited to private pay, high net worth individuals that can afford our services. And there's many, many more opportunities out there for care managers to extend their work, to really look at that holistic view of the client and managing all aspects of aging well at home. So the system will allow that. Including family members and family caregivers is becoming a very important part of the process, and not just giving them a portal, but meaningfully including them as part of the plan of care is what's really important. This is especially true because home care, in-home care, non-medical home care is getting extremely expensive. So more and more families are having to take on greater parts of the role, but they're not knowledgeable. So they're looking for a care manager to help them, guide them through. They will be the hands on labor, but they really do need some guidance in terms of what that plan of care needs to be. What do I need to do? What do I need to look out for? And a system that can truly include the family as part of the care team under the umbrella of a care manager, I think is really important. So one, the holistic nature. Two, there are many avenues to extend the care management business. Some go into home care or a limited form of home care. iHealth Home has a full-blown private duty home care system attached to it. So there's the module. You literally have to just call us and we can turn it on for you, and you'll have caregiver scheduling, caregiver management, caregiver billing right at your fingertips. And whether you decide to just start small with 1 or 2 caregivers or go try to build a full-on agency, that's possible. The other thing we can do is, if in home care you decide to provide Medicaid services, which some do, and even some federal government services are beginning to use what's called electronic visit verification, where when you provide services in the home, you have to validate with GPS coordinates that you were actually there.
Yeah.
iHealth Home can accommodate EVV, whether it's for a care manager or for caregivers. And finally, Medicare is beginning to cover more care management and care coordination through CPT codes. But it does require you to have certain documentation to justify the CPT codes. iHealth Home can help you accommodate those things. So our world is, care management world is changing, and it's not just private pay anymore. And if you really want to be able to participate in that revenue growth of that sector, you need a robust system that can keep up with you to do that. And iHealth Home has really tried to stay at that leading edge.
That's amazing. Well, thank you. My goodness, that was an encore to a fabulous presentation last year.
Good.
Well,
one other point I would make, Cathy, that I think care managers need to be cognizant of is their own efficiency as well. And so much of our process, even with a system like ours, we see our clients still have a lot of paper at the beginning and the end of the process, even if they're using the system in between. And automation from end to end is really important to keep your overhead down and keep you most efficient so that you can do what you do best, which is care. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I'm sure our webinar viewers will enjoy this. And thanks again for knowing me all this time. And hopefully we will do this again, maybe in 6 months. And you can
Great.
your new addition then.
Thank you for the opportunity, Cathy. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, me too. And thanks so much again.
Okay.
Okay, so lastly, and hold on, do not get out of this because the offers are coming, but Shauna is going to talk about her software, which is the newest software. Hi, Shawna. Thank you so much for coming to my webinar and telling everybody about your software, because that's one of the technology points that we're going to cover that everybody's interested in who's watching. So what we're going to do is I would like you to just talk about the features and the benefits of your software. Features are facts, about your software. And then benefits are why anybody would like to purchase it, what's in it for them if they purchase it and are shopping around and they're looking at different kinds of software of care management, and why would they just go choose you?
Sure. So I'm going to do what the feature is and then the benefit of that, because part of when we develop the software, we look at how it's going to benefit our users and what is going to help them the most when we put out new features. So one of the features that sets us apart is we have electronic signatures. So we can upload your particular service agreement, HIPAA release, or other documents that you need signed, and you can send them right out from the software. Your clients can easily sign those documents, and once it's signed, it automatically attaches to their profile. So that's the feature, and the benefit of that is just ease of use for your clients. So I think the challenge with getting your service agreement signed is what we were doing is having bring in paper and having the client sign it at the time of the service, or you email it and they have to download it, sign it, upload it again to, scan it, send it to you, which can be cumbersome. So the easier you can make it on your clients to sign on with you and to start services, the better. And I think your close rate is going to be better as well. And it's not going to be put on someone's back burner when it takes them literally 1 minute to sign your agreement, and then you can schedule to get them started. Another benefit is just ease of use, or I should say feature, ease of use. So we have a lot of different areas that it's too short to go over, like your client notes, partners, facilities, calendar tasks, reporting. So even though there's a lot of different areas within the system, it all works the same and it's all very easy to use. So when we do new features, we get feedback from our users before it goes live, and we make sure that it's very easy to use, that it's upfront. You don't have to dig to find things. And the benefit to you is a lot of care managers, technology is not their favorite thing in the world. A lot of people are not tech savvy and they don't want to have to think or learn a system and take ages to figure it out. So our system is very user friendly. We do one-on-one training with you. And then after that, our feedback is just that, that it's very easy to use and figure out. It's not hard to use at all. And another feature is that we have nice reporting. It's very user friendly. So you can do reports on who you refer out to, as well as who's referring to you. So that's helpful. I'd say that's the feature, and the benefit of that is to be able to track who you're referring to, because then you can kind of touch base with them like, hey, Mr. Attorney, I've sent 10 clients to you last year. Could you think of me when you have a client that's in need of my services? Or, hey, home health services, I sent you, 4 clients this month. Could you think of me when you have someone that's in need of my services? So it's important to know who you're sending referrals out to, so you can touch base with them, not only just to ask for cross referrals, but sometimes, as you know too, the community liaison person switches or quits, and then there's a new person. They have no idea who you are, and they don't know the value that you bring, or how many referrals you've given out to them. So that's a really nice thing too, to It says the client's name, not that you have to breach HIPAA and say all these clients that I sent to you, but you could track that and say, hey, I sent you 20 people last year or whatever. I'm a value to, please talk to me, I'm a value to you. Another feature that sets us apart is we do have a community resource page. So our community resource page, you can put in all of your resources within your area. So your home health agencies, attorneys, just anything that people that you refer out to, and you can star rate them so they can have like 1 star up to 5 stars. And that way, when you're bringing new people on, they know your resources. So I know, so that's the feature. And then the benefit of that. So as a care manager myself in practice, that was my biggest challenge, was bringing on new employees and taking up time with, well, who do you refer to for hospice? Who do you refer to for VA benefits? And it was a lot of my time until they could learn who these people are, or having stacks of brochures and business cards. And, a lot of it was in my head. And then we created Excel spreadsheets. So it was just very cumbersome. So you can easily even type in like a keyword and have that partner come up for you. Another benefit of that is, like, I've gone to conferences and you're like, you meet someone and a great resource, you're like, oh yes, my clients could really use this. But 3 months down the road, when you actually need to refer to them, you're like, oh wait, who was that? And you're Googling it and trying to find the contact. And right after conferences, you can put it right in there and easily find them then when it comes time that your clients need that service. And that area works the same as our facilities, where you can organize like your assisted living, dementia care units, day programs. And I know near me that our day programs were a couple of years ago shutting down right and left. And now we have some new ones that we put in, but it's an easy way to collaborate. So when my nurse finds a new facility, she can put it in, and then my other nurse can see that without doing a bunch of resource. So it's all about efficiency. And so I know we have a lot more to cover, but I'll kind of end there because I know we have the 8-minute time constraint, and just want to say, if you're interested, would love to show you more. There's so much in the system that we can't get around to, but yeah, anything else, Cathy?
No, well, thank you so much for doing this. It's, been so popular. We may do it again in 6 months, and then I'm sure you'll have more benefits and features, and you can share those with us and the people on the webinar again then. And thank you for doing it again.
All right, thanks, Cathy.
Okay, have a good day.
You too.
So now we are going to move into offers, and I make offers each time I do this, and I reduce the cost of what I have to offer you. So we'll get into that right now so we can get on to questions. So we'll move to the next one. The first offer is for my Geriatric Care Management Operations Manual. And I alluded to that. It's the only operations manual out there. It was initiated by McDonald's, how to fry the hamburger, they still call it. But they were able to replicate all over the world, which you can too with an operations manual. You can sell your business for twice the amount if you have an operations manual, and I am giving you one that you're going to update because it's not in your head at the end of the 20 years. It's a turnkey operation. So it's now out in its 5th edition already and working with that. And it has 15 services or products, and you can just click there and see all the 15 services and products. And it's a curriculum. I'm a teacher. I've been writing curriculum forever, but the curriculum is to train your care managers. So from soup to nuts, step by step, I am, essentially designing how to deliver these services. Who does what? Who does the intake? You know, how do they do it? All the forms are there. It's effortless for you to go through it. And of course you can say, Kathy, well, I didn't want to do it that way. You get to edit it as well. It comes out in a PDF. So it's just sent to you. I also send you 2 free manuals, forms and operations, and you get that electronically. And like I said, you can effortlessly onboard, you know, your employees and have them all doing the same gold standard service, because that's what I, you know, really underscore. So the webinar offer is usually $650, but you can have it for $550 at this point. And there's also a subscription price, you know, for people who really don't have that kind of money right now. Startups don't. For $70 a month. My mother used to call it that was her Christmas club. She put a little bit of money away each month in the bank. And it's the same deal, 11 months to pay it off. And it's only available from today until the 15th. So it's a limited offer. And find out more, go to my website and you can watch that video, and there's many more details there. So we'll move to the next one. And this is, these are my classes online. I have 2 classes, and the first one is Geriatric Care Management Operations Manual, which I just talked about, but it's an online class on how to use this. It's a self-paced class. You have a year to finish it. And if you're doing, you know, you're really, you know, against all odds doing it, I'll let you do it a little bit longer. You get, just like I said, the 2 operations manuals for free, comes electronic, same. And it has 22 modules. And why? There's only 15 products. It's because end of life has 5 stages to death. And I show you how to go through it in all 5 stages. And also home from the hospital. Well, you got to train the client to get ready for the hospital, get them in the hospital, follow them through. And then the most critical part, because of discharge, DRGs, you have to make sure that they're discharged well and they don't go back to the hospital. So there's 3 there. That's the reason. It comes with 22 free hours of consultation, so that I not only, you know, help you learn this business, but I will consult with anything that you need to know. And in my 40 years of doing this, I have a lot of information. So free consulting and marketing for each product. So each product not only shows you how to do it, but how to market it. And there's a whole marketing modules as well. Free tech support, and there's a new choice in doing this. I'm not going to go into it at length, but if 22 modules is too much for you, you can just take 12. And basically there's some really basic stuff you have to take, like geriatric care management, how to write it. But you, and marketing, you can pick 5 products that you really want to add to your website and actually, you know, offer to your clients. And then 3 other ones that you think you'll do later. And then you get the, you know, the 365-day consulting at the same time. So that's a new way that you can do it. And I'm going to move to the next slide. And the exciting part is you get 57 CEUs from ALCA to get this product, because they've certified my agency to do this, 3 per module. And there's closed Facebook page. The price is normally $9.95, but you can have it for $8.95 for the next 15 days. And if you're an ALCA member, you now get a blank discount on all these products. $7.95 for this particular product if you belong to ALCA. And if, you know, that doesn't work out for you, you know, care management startups are hard, so you can pay $95 a month for 11 months. My Mother's Christmas Club. And that link there is to watch the video about subscriptions. Same thing, only offer 15 more days, and find out more to go to my website, or to purchase it to go to that link. And the next slide. Okay, now this is the third one, and this is my geriatric care management business class. And this is for people that don't know the business of geriatric care management. And what is that? We didn't, nurses, social workers, everybody in health, you never took a class on business, marketing, any of that. You just didn't get it. I went to Berkeley, and in my, master's degree, I didn't get any of that. So it's a business, and this is 10 modules on how to, whether you should start on down to what you have to do to have a business, like marketing, sales, all the things we hate, a timeline, etc. And there's 10 modules, 10 hours of free consultations come with us as well. Same with the coaching, the free tech support. I have someone who has been with me for 7 years, who has a master's degree in computer science from Berkeley. And she takes over all of that because, again, I keep saying I'm 78. I know a lot, but enough to, get dangerous. And a closed Facebook page, and it's normally $850. You can have it for $750, or at that monthly subscription price of $80 for 11 months. And it's available for 15 days. And you can find out more by going to that link, and to purchase it, going to the next link. So we'll move on. We're almost done. And now I have a whole new thing in that NACM has given my agency the ability to give individual CEUs. So any of the classes, you don't have to take the whole damn thing. You can just take one. You get 3 CEUs that NACM will award you, and for any individual class. And there's 21 modules, and you can choose for them. That's that link. And the classes, they're key, all the classes are key services that adult children need to sign your contract. I don't teach, I teach you the skill, the information, like content marketing that, essentially that Tasha was talking about, on what you need to deliver to these people. And the products are, when you really think about it, on the ALCA website, what's the most popular thing? It's move management, because, older people are moving all the time, south to be warm, and then back again because they've got to go vertically to skilled nursing, or, the bad part of assisted living. So, the products are essentially what adult children really, really need and want to buy. And there's individual CEUs with this, and you can get $70 for one CEU, or if you want to bundle it, $199, and you can get in touch with me with that link. So we're going to move on to questions. Really, the next one, and we can move to that, is these are all the ways that you can reach the CEUs. I included Jewel Code. She didn't want to be part of this, but I'm still going to give you how you can reach Jewel Code. So that's that. You can, talk to them at further about which, if you're interested. And we'll move to the next slide, which is how you get to my social media. I'm not going to go through it, but I have a whole YouTube channel. As I told you, you can subscribe to my blog, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and visit my website. And we will move to the next one, which is, this is how you get a hold of me. So Keith and I will now do questions, and I hope you wrote everything down. Usually we've got to drag it out of you. So let's see if anybody came up with something, or, I'll get it from you no matter what.
Well, that sounds like a threat, Kathy. I
know.
Pull it out of you.
From New Jersey, you've got to,
Right.
I'm a Jersey.
Well, thank you for this new style of presentation with your interviews. That was nice. I liked it. It was nice to hear from these different folks in a casual format like you presented here. There was a comment that was noted in the chat, on our chat board here, that says might have been nice to have actual demos while talking about software products. But I see, given the time constraints, it would be that we'd still be on the first one if you were going into much more detail about what they offer and having further demonstrations about, and then it gets complicated with them showing us on their computers on this computer through a presentation. So that can get kind of complicated.
Well, that's a great comment, because what I need to tell you is the next step is you go to those links I get you and ask for demos of each of them. They will give you a free demo, and you want to go through the demos and find out what's the best for you. And, if they say it's easy to use, find out whether it's really easy to use. If they say that, it has, you can put all of your community contacts in there, let them show you. So yes, thank you very much for prompting me to say that.
And it would seem to me that you would want something that's usable at the moment for your business, but something also that you can use in the future as you expand and grow larger and stuff. So you keep those things in mind too, and ask them about those products and features that you're going to be discussing, and of course including is the pricing and their pricing formats and how because they're all going to be different, I believe.
And their contract, you want to know, do they lock you in for a year, or
1 year, 2 years, how much tech support will they offer, that kind of stuff.
Truth in lending. So, new question.
Truth in marketing. Yeah, we do have a couple of questions here from Mary. The first one is it necessary to also become a certified care manager, or is being a LSW sufficient?
Well,
like social worker.
Yes, certification comes from different bodies. And in order to get, ALCA is the one that basically represents geriatric care managers, and getting certified there is very important. They have a lot of benefits for you, but they do accept other certifications, and you can call ALCA and find out what else they are. They've changed a little bit. But certification, what that means is you've been vetted, just like I talked about, Google and LinkedIn, that you are what you say you are, because there's a lot of fake care managers out there that, are social workers that have it. It's a hard thing to learn, because it's mushing, nursing into social work. You have to know a lot of skills to do it. So do you really have those skills? And that's what certification means. And it also avoids legislation that would license you. So that's a question for ALCA.
And with that certification through ALCA and through the ALCA connection that they have with NAPCM, like you mentioned earlier, there's benefits to being part of that association as well. And I believe you don't have to be part of the association to be certified. I don't believe. I don't think both of those
No,
are.
I think that you do. I think
you do. Okay.
Yeah, I think that you do. Mm-hmm.
All right. I wasn't familiar.
Call them and check,
Yeah, find out.
Truth in this.
Right. Yeah, don't let us speak for them, for sure, or me. I should say, speak for them. But we have another question here. Min is asking, do you have the discount code to purchase your products?
Mm-hmm.
I guess you meaning your products, I think, right?
My products, the ones that I went through, the 2 classes, the operations manual.
Okay.
The books, the books that I've written, they're owned by Jones and Bartlett. So, I can't really give you a discount because they're owned by that entity. So it's one of those products.
I see no other questions or comments. Posted.
Come on, I know you need to know more of you.
I have a question.
Okay.
When you were talking about those professional associations like LinkedIn and Google Business and those at the beginning of your presentation, now I know there's no fees for a casual user, but is there one for the business aspect of like Google Business? Is there a fee associated with doing any of that stuff? No.
All free. It's all free.
All the LinkedIn stuff and all that's free, even though you're using it as a business purpose and not just a.
Yeah.
Twitter
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Instagram and
this is
all
absolutely
those types.
great. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. That's good then.
so,
Yeah,
yeah,
I never explored the business end of that kind of stuff. And I had another question too. The iHealth Home
mhm.
woman that was talking about, she mentioned, I think it was called CDP codes for Medicare and some billing associated with that.
Right. Yeah, that's really interesting. What she's doing is that they are moving into Medicare and Medicaid. So, that's the future, really. I mean, it's the very difficult future because the legislation isn't, really catching up with that yet. But you she foresees that, and there are some services that you can bill for now, and she has that available. Plus, it's really interesting to me that she usually the home care agencies are completely different. You buy them separately, and she's including that in her software now. So, but Medicare, yeah, Medicare and Medicaid, she is offering that for the future. Like right now, you can, Medicare, has benefits right now that, care managers can take advantage of. And so, you really need to look into that, like Medicare Advantage. If you have a rather large agency, you can, be certified by Medicare Advantage. There are programs all over the country. And because of COVID, they developed a whole new bunch of benefits that care managers can offer. So that's one of them. But it's very it's complicated, and it moves at a snail's pace, really. So any kind of workshops that you see that have to do with Medicare Advantage, look into that. And you have to have a larger agency, and you'd have to have a geriatric care management home care agency to do that.
And I would also be careful what you ask for, because I would probably bet that Medicare is not going to pay you your customary fees that you're charging for clients.
Great comment, because it's on volume. So you just don't want
Right.
to double. You need to be prepared to take a lot of clients. So
And all the paperwork associated with that under the Medicare guidelines and rules and regulations and so on. Yeah, you would need a specialist maybe in that area to add to your business if you want to go that route, who's familiar with billing and codes and.
Yeah, I know of a specialist, and if anybody's interested, please get in touch with me, because a national specialist who's well known within her field is someone that I know, because she works with my daughter who works for the SCAN program, and I met her through her. And the SCAN program works a lot with Anne. So yeah, I can connect you. If
Great.
that's what you're interested in.
So Min is asking two questions here. Do people with gerontology degrees, MS, BS, PhD, need to get a certificate to work as a case manager? Now,
No.
wording case manager and care managers are not always interchangeable. A case manager might work for a insurance agency typically.
Right, or more typically the federal state government,
Right.
because that's the old way. I used to, in the dark ages of my beginning career, I worked for the county of, well, no, it was the state of Philadelphia. And we were literally dealing with cases. We didn't even see the people as people. And that's the old term. But these public agencies also do case and care management. And like Boston University has a great program where they train public, agencies all over the country, the whole state of New York, to do this. So it's a great question. And no, you don't. once you get a gerontology degree, it depends upon where you're going. Like San Francisco State, when I taught the care management area, I taught care management well enough so that in that gerontology degree, you could just go straight into being a care manager. And a lot of my students are out there doing that right now. So you really have to check whether they teach care management within their curriculum.
Mhm.
And then most of them will. And they use my book.
And do you need a certificate? And I think that also means certification. I'm not quite sure, because certificate and certification are really, again, two different things.
Well, they are. And, this is the history, and I'm not really going to go into that, but the University of Florida, where you were, and San Francisco State both tried that, and they couldn't get certified. So it's changed now. I will say it's changed now. And, I think all you really need is a curriculum in gerontology that teaches care management. And most of them do. And then, it's like a snap to get certified in ALCA. ALCA is a really easy, certification. If you're in the Case Management Society of America, which is mostly nurses, then it's a harder certification. I mean, it's a tough one because they're nurses. They know more than we do as social workers. So, pick your poison. ANA has a certification. So, it's complicated, but you just get the university to guide you through.
And she was talking about certified, not certificate, but she was talking about certified. And to answer the question, do you need to be certified to work as a case manager, care manager? The answer would be no, you don't need it, but it certainly offers a level of expertise and recognition, not only by the clients and families, but by other care managers who are in the business and say, hey, I want to refer to Cathy out there. I got somebody moving out there. I want to refer to her. She's certified. She's top notch. So I think there are multiple.
It really brings trust, and trust is critical. You don't have trust, in the clients you're going to get, in the entity that you're working with, forget it. And certification gives you that. It certifies that you know what you're doing. It's really simple. Know what you're doing. So I would say, it's really important.
And then again, Min asked about the discount code. You went to your website and the price is still whatever the old price is, but I think maybe you and her can work, or you and
is the lower one, which is going into my website, which is how to reach me. And you can just go to my email, Cathy Cress. It's my email is cressgcm@got.net, because I have to bill you differently than in PayPal. PayPal doesn't allow that. So if you really simple, go to cressgcm@got.net, but you can go through the website the same way. It just says contact, and go down there, and the link is to contact.
that is, I believe, our last question. Oh, we got a couple more popping up here. Let's see. And Min says she will. I'm not sure who Min is, so I apologize if I have the wrong Min. The person will send you an email. And then there's a comment here by Mary. Says, I just checked ALCA's website and they are having regional conferences. I found that they're having one right here in Cleveland in September. So there you go. Anybody from that area up there in the Cleveland area, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, any of those areas, up around there. Akron, I guess, would be another one. And
yeah, I mean, the way ALCA works is it's divided into regions. Like, I'm out in the Western region. We're huge. There's 19 states, I think, out here.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah.
And then Florida has its own. New York has its own, but it's more intimate. And then it even breaks down to units. Like, we have a San Francisco unit. So
right.
The state ones have, the regional ones have conferences, and that's what you would be going to.
I've been to many of them.
That's always fun. We're the one.
Yes.
Florida's fun in the winter.
It is. In fact, we just had one here recently. We just concluded ours. I think it was June 23rd to the 26th. So they
Yeah.
just finished with the one down here in Orlando, walking distance to Disney. So that was,
Right,
I didn't go this year.
The Western one's up in Santa Rosa, the wine country. Very
There you are. Yeah, you could forget about the conference completely if you get into the wine country.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I don't see any more questions.
no, this is the longest webinar we've ever done, Keith. So thank you so
Right.
much. I mean, actually, it's supposed to be, we've done the right thing, 2.5 hours, but thank you so much for doing this 1.5 hours. And please be in touch with me if you're interested in any of the products, or you just want to say, Cathy, do it a different way.
Well, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good night.